Howdy, Rock Buds, Papa. Hope you're doing good today. Got a new rock for you to identify. I think you're going to like this one. And I've also got, at the end of this video, I've got a chart from the Rocks of Georgia book. And this chart will apply to the whole eastern United States. It tells you for a given kind of rock, what kind of minerals you're likely to find in that rock. And I hope that will be useful to you guys. So please subscribe if you like this, and thank you so much to everyone who has. Here we go with rock identification example number 4, I think it is. Okay guys, here's our next rock. So right off the bat, I see that this is, generally speaking, a light colored rock. That means felsic. Also, I believe I see striping or banding there. What does that tell us? Yes, it's very likely to be a metamorphic rock. And look at this, is a cracked, fresh surface, and the banding is very distinct here. Light bands and dark bands. So I think we would be pretty safe in saying this is a felsic metamorphic rock. And from our knowledge of felsic rocks, we know they contain quartz, potassium feldspar, biotite mica, and maybe muscovite. So what do you think the black stuff is in this rock? Yeah, I think it's biotite mica, but we can test that. So I get out my handy dandy nickel coin and begin to scratch, and it scratches super easy. So, and you can see the scratch. That tells me biotite. Why does it tell me biotite? Because biotite is soft, maybe a 4, maybe a 3 on the Mohs scale. And so a nickel, which is a little harder, can scratch it. But hornblende, which is also black, and pyroxene, which is usually black, are hard, like about 7 on the Mohs scale. And so a nickel cannot scratch them. And rock bud, since we know it has biotite in it, or we're fairly certain, that tells us that it could be a felsic rock or an intermediate rock, both of which could have biotite, but it's not going to be a mafic or ultramafic rock. They do not contain biotite, and the chart at the end of this video will help you with that idea. So let's look at some of the minerals in this rock. We've got quartz here, which is clear or gray. We also know that felsic rocks have a lot of feldspar in them. Feldspar in a rock is usually white. It can be other colors too, but I think in this case we have white feldspar. And we already determined that the black stuff was biotite mica. Here's a picture from the Rocks of Georgia book that shows some clear and or gray quartz, some white feldspar, and some black biotite in granite, as a bit of a reference. Okay, rock bud, so what's your gut reaction about what kind of rock this is, knowing what we know at this point? Did you say metamorphic granite, also called granite gneiss? I think you're exactly right. Well, let's just go through the process. We are in the map of Rock D, and the blue circle shows where I found this rock long ago. A little bit south of Clayton, Georgia, on Highway 441. I pressed on this location. Rock D said I would find metagraywacke and mica schist, both metamorphic rocks. Here's its location in the Rocks of Georgia book, and it's kind of hard to figure out where we're at, but you can see that little red square down there. That marks the Brevard Fault Zone, and since it's northwest of the Brevard Fault Zone, that puts it into the eastern Blue Ridge geologic province. It's a little bit hard to see, but on this map, it shows the rock location in the bright red area, which is number 4, the eastern Blue Ridge province, where we will find metamorphic and igneous rocks. Since Rock D said that we would find metagraywacke and mica schist at this location, I'm looking at these rocks in the Rocks of Georgia book and comparing them to our sample rock to see if they compare. And of course, you could also just look them up on Google Images to compare. And here's some mica schist, muscovite mica schist. And you know what? Our rock doesn't look to me like either of these rocks. Do you guys agree? Okay, here's what we know about this rock. It's a felsic rock. It's a metamorphic rock. It has quartz, feldspar, and biotite mica in it. And I agree with you guys. I'm almost certain it's metamorphic granite or granite gneiss. Here's some photographs of granite gneiss to compare with our rock, just to put the icing on the cake. And this is an interesting rock. You probably noticed that it's very crystalline looking. And that's because it's very highly metamorphosed. You get the metamorphic banding, and if you look closely at the rock, it's also got some hunks of feldspar that are kind of mash looking, organized, I guess is what they call it. And this rock is 1.2 billion years old, and it's part of the Tallulah Falls Dome Formation. It's a hunk of Precambrian basement that was drug up when the Carolina terrain slid down along the Brevard Fault. So it's a cool rock. And here's that chart from the Rocks of Georgia book that I was telling you guys about. I'll try to make it a little bit bigger so you can see what's there, but going down the middle column is a list of the different kinds of rocks that you find, with the felsic rocks at the top and the ultramafic rocks at the bottom. The red rocks are the igneous rocks, the blue rocks are the sedimentary rocks, and the purple colors, are the metamorphic rocks. And then going down the left side and the right side are the minerals that you will find in those rocks. And I think that will help you when you find a rock and you can identify the minerals in it. You can go to this chart and it'll tell you what the possibilities for this rock are. And of course, this chart applies to rocks everywhere, not just in the eastern United States. Now, if you guys was to buy the book, The Rocks of Georgia, which you can find on Amazon for about $22, I can't remember, but of course Amazon gets most of that. It has all this stuff in it, and I think it would be worth the purchase price for you. And I'm not saying I need the money. Grammy and I, yes, it's true, we're eating bread and water and digging roots in the yard, but no, just kidding. All right, my most excellent rock buds, that's the rock for today. Metamorphic granite, also called granite gneiss. If you like this, please subscribe. And this is your Papa, well, not exactly, your rock Papa saying, God bless you all, and happy rock hunting. Papa out.